Shuddy Light.
In Minneapolis right now, anti-ICE protesters, they're not just blocking roads. They're running license plate checks like they're law enforcement. But here's what they don't want you to know. According to Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, this entire chaos operation is actually cover for a massive underground fraud network. Federal prosecutors from across the country now flooding into Minneapolis for multiple investigations. You see, this goes way deeper than immigration enforcement. When protesters can set up roadblocks and run your plates while actual police stand down, we're talking about the complete breakdown of law and order. Your safety, your freedom of movement, your basic rights as an American citizen are being trampled by leftist activists who think they can play cop. And now we're learning this might all be orchestrated to hide the massive criminal fraud operations. Meanwhile, Democrats like Jerry Nadler are literally telling people it's justified to shoot ICE agents because they wear masks. Tom Homan and Secretary Noem's agents are risking their lives to remove dangerous criminals from our communities. And the left wants them dead. Speaking of things hidden from view, let me tell you something that should terrify every American. Because if you're over 40 and you're planning to retire someday, the window to protect what you have built may be smaller than you realize. Many investors in their 40s and 50s have zero exposure to precious metals. Their savings are tied to markets and paper assets with very little protection if conditions change quickly. As retirement gets closer, protecting what you've built matters as much as growing it. Noble Gold Investments helps investors reduce risk by adding physical gold to their portfolio, something you can actually hold. Not numbers on a screen, no pressure, no gimmicks, just clear answers and a strategy built around your goals. Visit nextnewsgold.com to learn how to protect what you have worked hard to build. That's nextnewsgold.com. Or give them a call at that number on the screen and find out how you can get one of these 3-ounce American Virtues Independence Silver Round. Absolutely beautiful if you're a collector. Now here's where it gets really insane. Apparently kids on Roblox are now conducting mock immigration raids online, which means the ICE debate has reached every corner of American culture. And when a black ICE agent simply asked a leftist protester if they were a man, the crowd completely lost it and started hurling racial slurs at him. The tolerance crowd showing their true colors once again. Here's a father who raged after finding out his son's school took him to an ICE protest without permission. Yeah, that's happening.
My son just called and said that his school just brought him to a protest. So he's currently at a fucking protest. I'm fitting to go rage. Who the fuck said you could bring my child to a protest? Any of our kids to a protest. They see what's happening today. Bringing kids out there now. Purposely in schools. Washington State. Send this out. Washington State. Sending their kids to protest. I'll see you soon. Let me give you a little rundown on the way there. White Center, we call out here Rat City. If anybody from Washington State knows this Rat City is not an area you bring kids, let alone bring kids to a protest in this piece of shit city. If anybody knows White Center, you know Rat City is dangerous. Why are you bringing our kids into dangerous territory with fucking protesting going on? Anyway, I'll see you soon. See you in the next video. It looks like they made it all back to the school already before I could get here. Yeah, so they all just got back before I can get here. All the kids. Fucking furry teachers on their bikes. Is this really what's going on? This is craziness. This is craziness. We got the blue hairs, everything. Are you serious? Yellow hair? Oh my God, my kid is at a woke school. What is going on? This is Cascade Middle School, everybody. Cascade Middle School in Washington State. Did you consent to that?
I didn't want to.
You didn't want to do that?
No, after the cops came up, one of the guys was like the guy with the megaphone, like a kid, who's like, do not talk to the federal thingamabobs, whatever it is.
Best believe I will be at the next school board meeting. You'll see my next video when that happens.
Damn. Dude, that guy's pissed. That's why I don't send my kids to public school. This parent outrage is only the tip of the iceberg. Wait to see how violent these peaceful protests actually get. People are demanding schools that drag young kids into anti-ICE protests should get defunded for straight-up child abuse. These riots and protests turn violent fast. Zero taxpayer dollars for this garbage. Are you serious? School controversy exploding citywide chaos, but Tom Homan has the receipts on what ICE operations actually accomplished. Listing some of the stats, displaying how immigration enforcement efforts have made Minneapolis safer.
Enforcement personnel, ICE and CBP and
he just gave
other partner agencies are patriots.
He just gave a press briefing this morning.
And they carry out their duties patriotically, with integrity, with professionalism and compassion. I've said this many times. These men and women don't hang their heart on the hook when they come to work. President Trump and I strongly stand with them in the critical work they do to prevent harmful or otherwise dangerous people from entering or remaining in this country. As part of the surge operation here, numerous criminal aliens have already been arrested. We've arrested 14 people who had homicide convictions, 139 people with sex-related offenses, 28 gang members. Correct me, 139 assault convictions, 87 sex offenses, 28 gang members have been arrested, just to name a few. We're taking a lot of bad people off the street. Everybody should be grateful to that. Who in their right mind would want these dangerous criminals walking around their communities? Everyone has a constitutional right to peacefully protest. President Trump and I, we completely support that. At the same time, professional law enforcement officers should and need to be able to perform their sworn duties without being harassed, impeded, or assaulted. I want anyone to report instances of alleged misconduct or wrongdoing. There's a way to report that. The Trump administration is taking violations of 18 U.S.C. 111, which is assaulting, impeding, interfering. We're taking that seriously. If you violate the law, you will be federally prosecuted. In the past month, 158 people have been arrested for violation of 111. 85 cases have been already accepted for prosecutions. The rest remain pending. We've had 9 indictments of those who raided the church, and additional cases are being worked. Additionally, I've been saying this for almost a year now. Hateful, extreme rhetoric against ICE personnel is completely unacceptable. Please stop. I said back in March of this year, if the hateful rhetoric didn't stop, I was afraid there would be bloodshed. And there has been. President Trump and I, Secretary Noem, none of us want to see any bloodshed. It is no doubt encouraging and inciting certain people to violate the law, wanting to harm and actually harm law enforcement, and their families, is unacceptable.
The composure, man. He's so patient. But he's not just defending results, he's thanking Trump personally for backing his agents in the field. Here's what he had to say this morning.
Lastly, I'd like to thank President Trump for his steadfast leadership and commitment to law enforcement, public safety, and prosperity. I've said this many times. I've worked for 6 presidents and 10 administrations. When it comes to public safety, border security, immigration enforcement, no one's done it better than President Trump. His success is unprecedented. Later on today, Secretary Noem is having a press conference on our southern border, the most secure border in the history of this nation, because of the leadership of President Trump and the men and women over there wearing a green uniform. Most secure border in the history of this country, which means less children are dying making that journey, less women and children are being sex trafficked, less fentanyl getting this country to kill our young people, less known suspected terrorists being released in this country. The most secure border in a lifetime gives us the strongest national security we've seen. You can't have strong national security without strong border security. I wish I could be at that press conference, but the president has called me here. I just had a small part in it. The reason we have the most secure border is because of President Trump's leadership and the men and women wearing the green uniform, which I once wore.
The success story continues, but Homan is about to reveal what his officers face on the ground every single day. A reporter asks, do you think this operation was a success?
Everything that you've mentioned here right now, do you think this operation was a success here in Minnesota?
Yeah, I think I just listed a bunch of people we took off the streets of the Twin Cities. So I think it was very effective as far as public safety goes. Was it a perfect operation? No. No. And I just told you, we created one unified chain of command, make sure everybody's on the same page, make sure we're deconflicting targets, and making sure we follow the rules. Now, I'm not saying anybody, I don't think anybody purposely didn't do something they should have done. I'm saying that I brought a different set of eyes on this. I've done this for a long time. We made this operation more streamlined, and we established a unified chain of command, so everybody knows what everybody's doing. And not that it wasn't current before, but we approved upon that. So in target enforcement operations, we go out there. There needs to be a plan, and I want to make sure everybody has a plan. But I'm not going to sit here and point a finger at anybody that they failed. It was a great operation. We took a lot of public safety threats off the street.
One gets emotional about his agent's sacrifices. Now he's got a direct message for the Minneapolis obstructors.
I have directed target enforcement operations, and we'll hold our officers to the highest standards. These are professionals. Again, these. I wish every one of you could put that gun on your hip, put that Kevlar vest on, and go out there and put up what they put up with. Considering the hate, the rhetoric, the attacks, I think they performed remarkably, and I'm proud of them. We came here, President Trump sent me here. I didn't ask to come here. President Trump sent me here to help de-escalate what was going on. We're not surrendering our mission. We're not walking away from our mission. We're just making this more effective and more smart. This is smart law enforcement. Smart law enforcement makes it safer.
Homan calls out the roadblock lunatics, but the White House press secretary is about to drop some inconvenient truth about Obama's revelations. Listen to this.
I was away to where the roadblocks yesterday. I called the chief of police, and he went and disbanded them after I got off the phone with him. He has promised to take enforcement action. It's illegal. You can't do that. And again, a message to those folks, what are you doing? You really think you can stop an ICE and CBP from doing the job? It's a joke. Only people you're hurting is your own community who wants to go and get groceries, pick up the dry cleaning, or go to work, whatever. You're just hindering them. Stop. Stop.
Setting up frickin' roadblocks. The administration firing back at the Democrat hypocrisy, but Caroline Leavitt's about to absolutely destroy the celebrity virtue signalers.
I think it's incredibly irresponsible for elected Democrats to refer to ICE agents and Border Patrol agents who have their jobs, by the way, because of the laws that were enacted and passed by the United States Congress. These are legitimate law enforcement organizations that rest within the Department of Homeland Security that have been enforcing our nation's border and our nation's immigration laws for years. I didn't hear Chuck Schumer or Democrats speaking that way of ICE agents under President Barack Obama, who deported hundreds of thousands of criminal illegal aliens from our country. That's all President Trump, Secretary Noem, and this entire administration are seeking to do. Targeted law enforcement operations of illegal alien criminals who broke our nation's laws, especially those who have committed heinous acts of violence against the American people. And it is a mandate that the president was elected upon to secure our homeland and to carry out these deportations. And it's something he will never waver in his commitment in, because why? A country without borders, a country without laws will cease to be a country at all. Now, there can be policy discussions and debates about how those tactics are enforced. And I know Congress will be having those discussions in the coming days. But as far as the underlying principle of enforcing our nation's laws and protecting our border, that is something this president will never waver on, because he knows it's what the American people elected him to do.
Amen. I love her, man. She torches the elite, but we're getting word something much bigger is happening behind the scenes in Minneapolis. Dropping bombs on celebrities who advocate for illegal aliens instead of backing law enforcement.
Rodriguez made, and she has kept, and we expect her to continue to keep.
Does the president welcome? His administration is still expecting ICE agents during the Super Bowl. And what are the comments from President Donald Trump regarding what Bad Bunny said during the Grammy Awards, ICE out?
Mm-hmm. I have not spoken with ICE or the Department of Homeland Security or Secretary Noem with respect to enforcement at the Super Bowl, so I don't want to speak on a topic that I don't have knowledge on. I'm sorry, but I would defer you to them. I'm sorry?
On the statements of Bad Bunny saying ICE out.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's very ironic and frankly sad to see celebrities who live in gated communities with private security, with millions of dollars to spend protecting themselves, trying to just demonize, law enforcement, public servants who work for the United States government to enforce our nation's laws. And you didn't hear this same type of uproar from celebrities in Hollywood when the previous administration allowed an invasion of our nation's borders and allowed innocent women and girls like Jocelyn Nungaray and Laken Riley to be killed and raped and murdered at the hands of people who should have never been in our country in the first place. And now you have law enforcement who are simply trying to do their jobs to remove violent predators like those who took the lives of innocent Americans. There was no uproar from Hollywood and the elitist crowd at the Grammys then, but there is now, and I think that speaks to the unfortunate irony that we're seeing in Hollywood.
Talk about the Clintons. Sí.
I'm sorry?
Go on. Sorry.
Okay.
President Trump approval rating.
Now the deputy AG revealing the ICE operation uncovered a massive fraud network. I'm waiting to see how unhinged Democrats are getting. Laura Ingraham, Todd Blanche says anti-ICE chaos in Minneapolis is cover for massive underground fraud network that we've been tracking here.
Here with me is Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. Todd, you just heard Jorge Ventura say that they're stopping vehicles. They're asking for IDs if they're affiliated with ICE. Isn't that actively impeding another civil liberties for free association?
Yes, and this is exactly the problem. As he said, and I'm sure it's true, not a local cop in sight. And again, this is what's happening all over Minneapolis. You have this effort by local leadership to just say, we don't care, we're going to let all this happen, and we don't care if ICE officers have their fingers bit off. We don't care if there's protests going on that are actually turned into riots. We don't care about that. And it's horrible, and we've been pounding the pavement. Don't do this. President Trump said, he talked to the governor, he talked to the mayor. Please change your tactics. And we really need them to do that, or we're not going to fix this problem.
Now, these left-wing groups that have formed a kind of unholy alliance, a lot of them have different goals, but they formed an alliance to work together here, to drive ICE out, to change the narrative, to make Trump look bad and you guys look bad. Is there any progress with untangling that funding and exposing it and perhaps prosecuting?
We do have progress, and we have several ongoing investigations. And remember what was happening in December, Laura. We had a massive fraud going on all through Minneapolis, all through Minnesota, and suddenly it turned. It turned almost on a dime, and it became suddenly all about ICE, all about getting ICE out and how horrible ICE was doing. But really what we have here is a massive underground fraud network operating in Minneapolis, and we had a very strong pushback when we raised our hands and said stop. And so, yes, we have multiple investigations going on. We sent prosecutors from Maine Justice. We sent prosecutors from other U.S. attorneys' offices all over the country. And we're making progress every day.
Making progress every single day. Well, federal investigations expand. One Democrat congressman wants to impeach the DHS secretary. Protesters are doing something even more disturbing. Democrat Congresswoman Representative Teresa LF wants to impeach Secretary Noem, who just led the Department of Homeland Security through its most successful year ever, saving countless American lives by removing droves of hardened criminals from our communities. Deranged, Rapid Response 47 says.
If Kristi Noem won't go on her own, if President Trump doesn't tell her to step down, Democrats in Congress, we will impeach Kristi Noem.
Good luck.
No must go. No must go.
Good luck.
No must go. No must go. Okay, let's say it in Spanish. No mas Noem. No mas Noem.
Oh, wow.
No mas Noem.
No mas. Really? Unbelievable. The impeachment threats escalate as protesters literally running license plates at illegal checkpoints, but Democrats openly inciting violence. ICE protesters confirm Minneapolis law enforcement is allowing them to stop vehicles and run their plates at their blockades. Daily Caller confirms the blockades in Minneapolis are being used as license plate checks. ICE protesters stopping all vehicles.
South Minneapolis, we just actually spoke to some of the individuals that you want to just check out here wearing the kind of black block covering their faces. They have this kind of blockade here where they're stopping some vehicles. Actually, Eric, if you could point down there, they're actually stopping this vehicle and they check the out-of-state plates just to see if they're ICE. And what's interesting is just moments ago, down there, we have an Uber driver. He's from Somalia. He's clearly not ICE. And they said that in their database that vehicle was popping up as an ICE vehicle. So we were questioning them about this database that they're using. Obviously, there's some type of network here, communication. According to them, local law enforcement hasn't even came in and stopped. So Eric, just kind of shoot some of this and check it out. They're on the phones. I guess they were checking the license plate. We heard in their walkie-talkie that the license plate that they ran is not ICE, but you see they're on their walkie-talkies here talking. We want to find out a little bit more about the database, but they don't want to answer our questions. So
unfreaking real.
This is the situation right now here in South Minneapolis. It's called like a blockade. Hey, how you doing? Just talk to me a little bit about this database, because we just ran our Somali Uber driver's license plate. I mean, you guys did run his license plate without his permission. Just talking about the database a little bit, you know? So, this is the scene right now in South Minneapolis, 32nd Street here on Cedar Avenue. You can't stop me, dude.
Get in the fucking car.
You can't.
Get in the fucking car, man. Go away.
So they're assaulting me and my photojournalist. Got it all on video. They actually tried to steal my phone, but unsuccessful. And you're gonna get blasted all over the internet, buddy.
Yeah. assaulting Jorge Ventura, too. License plate checks by protesters pale in comparison to what Jerry Nadler just said about shooting federal agents. Democrats now claim it's okay to shoot ICE agents because they wear masks.
Solve our balanced budget problems by simply repealing the taxes, the tax cuts on millionaires and billionaires enacted over the last 10 years. But what is really the major problem in this country today is the fascism in our streets. The attacks on American citizens by masked hoodlums. If you were attacked by a masked person, you might think you were being kidnapped. You'd be justified in shooting the person to protect yourself. But we see people being shot for what? For driving a car? We see people, we see the ICE goons break into people's homes without a warrant. We see them drag out a man, an American citizen, in his underwear without even permitting him, in the snow, without even permitting him to get dressed. This is the major problem we have today, along with the attack on our elections. We saw last week.
The attack on our elections. Yeah. Jerry Nadler's shooting comments reach peak insanity, but ICE agents are fighting back with body cameras to expose the truth. Secretary Noem is on the ground.
As far as the actual body cams themselves, Secretary Noem is on the ground frequently with our men and women of DHS law enforcement, and they're asking for those body cams. They know that there's a highly coordinated campaign of violence against our law enforcement. These agitators are using different tactics to provoke our law enforcement and then take it, selectively clip, edit, and make it go viral. We're seeing that constantly, so this is going to be great transparency for the American people. I won't get ahead of the White House as far as on those negotiations, but I do think as far as those administrative warrants, there's a mass campaign of misinformation as far as what's going on. Whenever an administrative warrant is used, our law enforcement, there's a final deportation order for that illegal alien. So they have had full due process as well as there's probable cause. So those are very much lawful. They were used in past administrations, including the Obama administration. So there's some political gamesmanship going on there as far as administrative warrants, which Congress and the U.S. Constitution recognizes.
Body cameras will capture the agitators' tactics, but the cultural impact is spreading to the most unexpected places. Kids on Roblox. Your kids play that? Yeah, we had to stop ours. Conducting immigration raids. Huh. Look at this. Look at this. Playing Roblox with immigration raids. Oh my goodness. I need to see that again. Flashbangs. Kids are down going door to door on Roblox. You can't make this up. That's how far this is going, folks. From Roblox raids to real-world confrontations, the left mask is off as they hurl racist slurs against black agents. A black agent, ICE agent, is going viral after asking a leftist if they are a man, causing leftists around him to crash out and call the agent, "Oh my."
Energy, like we should rip people apart from their families.
Are you a man?
Wow. Wow, is that a question?
Wow.
Okay. How do you feel about ripping people from their families? Does that feel good?
Fucking house nigga in here.
Sir, I need to move.
Fucking house nigga working for the fucking KKK.
What the fuck's wrong with you people? Why are you calling a woman a man? I mean, what kind of a guy does that?
Fucking house nigga, bitch. Go look for your fucking slave.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a tolerant left for you. The racist attacks against black agents show the left's true colors, but patriots across America are fighting back with their own message. Some patriot purchased a pro-ICE billboard in San Francisco ahead of the Super Bowl, declaring them the Defensive Player of the Year, and it's triggering all the libs. It made me sick to my stomach.
New digital billboard at Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco is evoking mixed reactions.
It made me sick to my stomach.
It's an ad that shows support for ICE.
They have a job to do, too. That's it. You know, I don't have a problem with them.
The billboard reads, Defensive Player of the Year, ICE. A group that calls itself American Sovereignty is behind the billboard. We tried to reach out to them to learn more about their motivation, but have not been able to reach anyone.
I'm worried for my neighbors. I'm worried for what is happening, and I'm worried to see it escalating here.
With the Super Bowl just days away, these concerned community members say they're doing something every day to get their message out.
Oh, you gotta love it, right? Tom Homan put it perfectly. You really think you're going to stop ICE from doing their job? It's a joke. The only people you're hurting is your own community. The left's desperation is showing. And now we know why. They're not just protecting illegal aliens, they're protecting criminal fraud networks worth millions. I should say billions. See, this is exactly what winning looks like, folks. President Trump and Tom Homan promised to restore law and order, and now the criminals are panicking so hard they're setting up illegal roadblocks and calling for violence against federal agents. Secretary Noem is leading DHS through its most successful year ever, removing dangerous criminals from our streets while Democrats scream about impeachment. The swamp is fighting back because they know their time is up. You see, Trump's policies are working. Our communities are getting safer, and the establishment can't stand it. Do you think these Minneapolis protesters should be arrested for impersonating law enforcement and obstructing federal agents? Let me know in the comments. And while you're there, check out the Next News merch shop for gear that shows you stand with law enforcement and President Trump's America First agenda.
The system controls information. Information control is power. They don't want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.